Julia here. So glad you get to join us again for another video tutorial. And today we are going to get into organizing and storing your embroidery floss. This came up through a conversation with Miss Laura, who is working down in Washington, D.C., and a mom asked to order some embroidery floss from us since they want to do some embroidery at home. And she asked about how do you organize it. And we're like, wow, I bet you there are other people out there being kept up at night who wants to know how to store and organize their embroidery floss. So we're going to go ahead and embark on the journey of learning how the Handwork Studio likes to store and organize their embroidery floss. So the first thing that we need, as you can probably tell by this hanging up behind me, is a hanger. So really anything with a bar across the bottom is going to work well for this. So if you want to use a metal hanger, a plastic hanger, this is one of those IKEA hangers you can buy in the packs for maybe $6. So I think it adds like a little fanciness. You can get fancy hangers. You can order them off the Etsy. That's your choice. But anyway, this is just a standard hanger. The key is the bar across the bottom to make this work. Next, you're going to need a pair of scissors to cut your embroidery floss. I just brought tape measures along just so you guys can see the length that we're going to get out of this. And then of course I have all of my gorgeous colors laying out here that we're going to be able to take these skeins and put them on the hanger. And what you do is you go to a craft store or nowadays Amazon or online and you type in Google and the magic Google box will come up with a million different choices of different types of embroidery floss. We like to work with a company called DMC. They're pretty much the go-to embroidery floss provider out there, and they have all sorts of different types of embroidery floss. We like to use a pearlized cotton, which is a little different than what you might see as standard counted thread. So we've done a couple of tutorials on different types of embroidery floss, and you can watch those to kind of get a gauge of, you know, what the differences are and why you use one versus the other. But for our uses, especially in our camp programs, we love this. It gives you a really nice thick line when you're stitching, and it's great for those younger campers who need a little more of that width on the floss to give them the look that they're going for. So what we do is we take these skeins apart and then attach them to the hanger. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that is done. So I just happen to have a pocket full of embroidery floss, as one does, and these are going to be my example skeins to use because I don't really want to mess up my beautiful rainbow over here. And what I like, because we always go for a look, is we take 2 skeins per color. So generally what you're seeing back here is about 2 skeins per color. And we're gonna start with our red. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull off the little wraps. Kids like to make fingernails out of them. Pull off your wraps. The wraps can get overwhelming because if you notice each one has 2. So just keep track of those guys and you can just toss them. Also on the wraps will say the color number. So if you're looking for specific colors, let's say you want this red is $4.98, so that's something for you to keep in mind moving forward. If you like that and you want to go and repurchase it, you'll need to know the number unless you have a really good memory. Because some of the colors can be pretty close. Like this red is actually a little different than this red. This is a little more purpley. And this is $8.17 rather than $4.98. So anyway, I just pulled the wraps off, and you'll notice that this is on a twist. So I'm coming to the end where there's a knot holding this all together. I don't know if you guys can see that at all. There's a knot right over here. And I'm actually just going to untwist the skein. And essentially it's set up like a loop. So I'm going to find, and this is a good opportunity for parents or adult supervision to help with this, because this can easily become a giant rat's nest. So what you want to do is you want to look for the little loop tie at the end, if you guys notice that. That's actually what, that when they were wrapping this up at the factory or whatever, and they tie the ends so you get this loop that's all conjoined. So I just untwisted that. I'll show you again. And I'm going to come to the loop right about here. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to snip right where that loop is. So you can see that knot has now come off and I've made a complete line. Alright, the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to go ahead and attach the embroidery floss that we've cut apart to our hanger. And it doesn't really matter which side you want it to go on. That's really up to you. It's preference. What you want to do is just be consistent, because what you'll notice here is when you look at it forward facing, it gets this little belt at the top. So I mean, again, it's a matter of preference, but if you want everything to look nice and even and consistent, you'll want to do it all in the same way, because you'll notice the back shows it without the belt. Okay, so it's really up to you, but I'll show you how to make sure you're doing it consistently each and every time. What I'm going to do is take the two ends and roughly match them up, folding our embroidery floss in half. I'm keeping my pointer finger at the top to kind of make that loop that goes around my hand. And what that's going to be able to let us do is attach it to the hanger. So I just flipped it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the embroidery floss underneath. This is the easiest way for me to do it. And we're going to do something called a clove hitch, which is the way for us to attach this around the bar of the hanger. That's why the bar is so important. If it's not there, there's nothing really to attach it to. So I have my loop that's pulled up maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so, and I'm going to take the ends, all the ends here, and I'm going to gather them in my hand, and I'm going to push it through that loop. And what that's going to do is allow it to wrap itself around the hanger. I always make sure you're facing the direction of the back. I call that the back side. And we'll do it again. Come underneath the bar, and you're going to pull the two ends through the loop and pull it down until it cinches right up against the bar. And you can see now they are consistent, the back side to the front side. Okay? And you just keep building up on that based on however many colors you want. The final piece to this is actually, once you get them attached to the hanger, you need to remove your strands as you are beginning to sew things. So what you want to do, this is the reason why I call it the front, with these little belts holding it onto the hanger. But you'll find one strand and you'll pull it ever so gently, and it's going to detach itself from the hanger. So you get one single strand. And the nice part is this can just get pulled right back into its nice organized setup on the hanger. Okay? Alright, so we now have all successfully created embroidery floss hangers to keep your embroidery floss nice and neat and organized. So I'm excited to hear and see all these beautiful projects that you guys will be creating. If you're looking for supplies and materials, feel free to check out our online shop. We'll be posting a link down below. You also are more than welcome to reach out to us at any time. We always love helping crafters out there in their creative endeavors. And we also have some cool videos talking more about embroidery, and we have templates on our website as well that you can download, and we show you guys how to create your own pictures. So we are thrilled you joined us and look forward to talking with you guys soon.